The journey actually started after I lost my son in 2016 from unknown causes. And like we was talking about earlier, that it started before then. Like the real journey started way before then. But I'm gonna start where my son was overdosed in 2015, October 31st, and his anniversary was just a couple of days ago. Um, when my after my son passed away, my mother passed away 2 years after that, 2 years and 1 month after that, on my grandmother's birthday. And what that ended up happening, man, is that just like any man, you don't want to admit that you're hurt, and everything becomes a fight after that, survival of the fittest. Something that I've always been used to is surviving. I told myself, like, um, I'm not going to let this destroy me. And little did I know, man, that the journey, the grief journey, it did destroy me. It took everything away from me. But most of it was due to my own bad decisions. Like I left looking for a change, only to run into more problems. Then eventually I lost everything. I lost my company. I lost my home. I lost everything. Um, Came back to Colorado, bounced around on people's couches. And the more and more I fought, the more and more I went down that rabbit hole till one day I found myself in the middle of the desert about ready to take my life. And in that moment, as they would say, divine intervention, right? Um, this voice came to me and showed me a different way. And we can dive deeper into it. I'm just giving you the shorter rundown. Um, and when I finally got my mind to where it was, there was this new version of me. And that's how it all started, man. This thing called grief grabbed a hold of me and became my mentor, became my first love. And I started a nonprofit called Memories of Us. I started podcasting. I started wanting to connect with other men like myself. One, to learn, and two, I wanted to explore what this thing was, right? And it just took me along this journey, man, of healing, of understanding, of not being afraid to tell people that I was hurt. And this gift began to manifest itself, and it began to make room for me. And everything else, man, everything else has been this beautiful journey of just learning, wanting to serve and wanting to speak life into other men, but also educating women on how men grieve. Because grief is such a foreign language to men and some women out there, that is important that we learn how to articulate what's going on with us. And so that's just that little small portion right there. And, like I said, I'm an open book, man. So much that went into that, that goes into the work that I do. And I've been blessed and fortunate to be able to do the things that I do.
Do you think sometimes that when men are going through the grief process, they think that they have to go through it alone because they are men?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, since children, men are taught not to cry, right? We're taught to express our to suppress our emotions, not to express them. We're taught that no one cares. And life would teach us the rest of it. Like life would teach us that, hey, no one cares what you're going through. Suck it up, man up, keep moving forward, right? And so we begin to mask ourselves. And in turn, we develop trust issues with people because it's normally the people that use what we're going through against us is the people that say that they love us the most. So that is why most men, well, majority of the men will feel as if I have to do it alone. I am safer doing it on my own. Because if I bring you in, you're just going to find a way to use it against me. Trust me, I know. I've had my stuff used against me as well. And so, having that understanding helps me pivot in conversations with other men. This is why the addiction rate, the suicide rate, the homeless rates against men are through the roof because we feel like we don't have anyone. And that's a very, very dark place to be when you feel like you gotta go out and face the world alone.
Yeah, I look at it from like, because we're both men and we're not that far off in age. And I look at it as I've been told for so long that I have to be a man and man up and fight for everything in this world, right? And we have a lot of people who would say that there's like this joke, right? Like men are not allowed to experience any other emotion but anger, and women can experience every emotion but anger.